you get that set up, I'm getting a new beer.
Happy beer getting.
Wish I had a beer at this point. Ah.
All right.
Oh, that was way more painful than I thought it was going to be. You know that, right?
All right.
I did not watch that entire video before I sent you the link.
Here comes the intro.
Hey, David!
Hey, David, you're cool. I need a shirt size.
It's an Aptic!
It's an Aptic. Woohoo! You rock, Darren. Hey, Darren. Welcome.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
And we are back for the after show. What we're going to talk about?
I don't know. We're not sure yet. I don't think we actually came up with a thing. I know Tornado's been chopping at the bit to give his take on net neutrality, but I think we just kind of generalized faffing about tonight.
Indeed. That's
next week we may actually plan ahead for it.
That would be a cool thing.
Or we could break out Mr. Ty. No, let's not break out Mr. Ty.
Oh God, no.
No, we need RJ for Mr. Ty.
Oh, here RJ too.
Yeah. I mean, if RJ was still here, I'd be like, yeah, sure, all for it, because I mean, I want RJ there when we do Mr. Ty, because RJ, I mean, out of all of us, I think he would be the best for that, because he's just so knowledgeable on it.
Well, that's because he spent the last 20 years studying these concepts and going through and pulling shit together.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, like I said, I love RJ, but I always hate when he makes me feel like an idiot.
You know what? If there is nobody on the planet that's making you feel like an idiot, then you probably are one.
Yeah, I agree. But RJ seems to do it at a higher frequency than everyone else, though.
Well, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
Because that means that he knows he knows a few things that perhaps you don't, or he can at least back up a few things that perhaps you don't. And that means that you have the opportunity to learn something, which is never a bad thing.
Yep. And I'm always willing to. I am still, after about 3 days, and of course I haven't been listening a lot, but I'm still on episode 1 of Evolution Hour, because I am sitting there taking notes. Because I'm like, I can't remember. I won't remember half this stuff. I'm gonna take notes, and I never take notes. I'm horrible at taking notes. Yeah, he's making me take notes. Yeah, thanks, RJ.
Of course he's making you take notes. If you're not taking notes, you're doing it wrong.
Now,
although I'll be honest with you, I don't actually take notes when RJ speaks. I go back and I look at, I jot down real quick which tips he's referring to, and I go read those. Better.
Yeah, it's just, RJ is just, man, he is. But you know what? Even though I might feel like an idiot when he starts talking, as I said last week, I always feel like I've learned something new. I mean, yeah, I'm smarter at the end of it, even if I feel dumb at the beginning.
Indeed.
Well, you know what? That's never a bad thing.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yes, we're talking about
talking
about our friend Mr. Downard. Mr. Convenient. Yeah. Yes, we are. Because that's a thing.
Absolutely.
And yes, the chat can carry on just like I told you it would.
Exactly. As long as we didn't make it a scheduled event, it doesn't kill the old and bring up the new.
Well, no, as long as they're still looking at it through the live segment, they would still the chat would continue, as long as you don't make some sort of large break. So that's kind of a thing. Maybe in future we'll just do this for the Patreon people. Or something. I don't know.
And now,
well, it's an idea that I've been having.
What I don't understand is we specifically authorized Tornado to talk about net neutrality. We specifically authorized it. Why is his head not exploding right now to get into that topic?
I don't know. All right, Tornado, let's give you the floor for a couple of minutes.
What you got, Chief?
Okay, guys, net neutrality is the principle that the big ISPs, Comcast, Charter, previously Time Warner Cable, Cox, don't take that the wrong way. And you also have Verizon, AT&T, these big ISPs. The rule is for net neutrality that they cannot throttle, they cannot block, and they cannot prioritize, meaning basically all data must be treated equally. They can't prioritize based on who provides the content, who does whatever with it. They can't block it to where it's going, and the big ISPs don't like that because it removes a lot of the supposed power that they have. Well, the new chairman of the FCC, a man known as Ajit Pai, is planning on gutting all of that. Not only is he planning on reversing the rules, he's planning on striking them all down, meaning ISPs will have the power to block, to throttle, and to prioritize with impunity. We would basically start to see an internet where freedom of speech is only free for the rich, and all the poor have their voices squelched out before they can actually even do anything. I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't want to live in a world where my net is controlled by big telecom. I would like to live in a world where everything is free and easy to access. Unfortunately, we have to pay for internet service, but still, either way, ISPs and the chairman of the FCC at this point are working together to completely destroy our net neutrality rules.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if the chairman of the FCC manages to get everyone to win in the vote, and by that I mean there's a 3-2 majority for the Republicans, the leader being Ajit Pai. If they manage to get this vote to go through without a hitch, within 60 days, we may actually end up seeing signs that show internet service providers have blocked this site. Please pay in order to access it.
I don't think it's that, Tornado. I don't think it's that. It's not about blocking sites. Think about it from an economic standpoint. ISPs, they don't care about political views. They want the money. They want profit.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is it's not that this is a they're going to stifle freedom of speech. They don't care. They don't care about whether it happens, doesn't. They don't care.
I've been telling him for more than a week he's being an alarmist.
Yeah. What they care about is profit, is money coming in. If they have an additional revenue stream, they're going to go for it. Now, what that's going to the ability to prioritize certain types of data from certain sources means that one, yes, the ISPs and the providers will be able to, well, let's look at it in a positive sense. Not necessarily throttle some things, but prioritize other sorts of traffic that have been paid for. What that is, it's not that it's a freedom of speech issue, it's an anti-competition issue. If I develop some competition to, say, YouTube, I come up with some great method of a website that's just so much easier to use than YouTube, and everybody loves it. It's never going to get off the ground if net neutrality dies, because I won't have the loot to pay, and I won't be prioritized, and I'll have all sorts of lag and all that sort of stuff. So it's more of an economic issue and it's anti-competition. We're going to in a few years we're going to need a new set of trust busters, because that's what it's going to be.
To be perfectly honest with you, it worked just fine under Title I. Title II was the Title II transition to get the FCC completely in control of internet traffic was Obama throwing a freaking fit, because he couldn't just regulate things at his whim. He had to get through the Federal Trade Commission. Federal Trade Commission, their job in and of itself is to keep people honest. If they're not being honest, then the FTC comes down on them like a ton of bricks. The ISPs, prior to the 2015 decision, were not being regulated very heavily, and if they happen to lie to the customer and do squirrely shit behind closed doors, the FTC would just threaten them with a freaking lawsuit, and they would shut the fuck up. They'd stop doing it 99.8% of the time. The one time they actually had to do a lawsuit, they lost. The ISP in question lost. I believe it was Comcast. They lost.
Yeah.
So, going back to Title I isn't the death knell that everybody seems to think it is. Because what they're doing is they're taking power away from the FCC. In this case, the FCC would be voluntarily divesting itself of a substantial chunk of that power, and giving it back to the Federal Trade Commission where it was originally. That being said, this removal seems to be crossing both sides of the aisle as far as in terms of politics. There's also a thing going on, according to my Congress critters, both senators and my local Congress critter on the federal level, to provide a clear definition of what net neutrality is, and then it's constitute law that the ISPs have to follow that. Into actual federal law, not just FCC guidelines and whatever their whim happens to be.
Aha. Okay.
That's what my Congress critters are telling me. Whether or not they're lying is another matter, but they are certainly paying it. Yeah. They were very quick to get back to me on it, so I'm guessing they've been getting a little on the overwhelmed side.
I see.
They don't want to. Yeah. They don't want to force the FCC to retain Title II, because a lot of them seem to think that's giving the FCC way too much power. They're going to go the other route and just legislate the shit down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which I wholeheartedly approve of. Yes, please do that. Establish what net neutrality actually is for this purpose, and then put into law that they have to abide by it.
Unfortunately, the Republicans that are currently in the majority of the House, the Senate, and the other things would kind of disagree with you, saying that this is all anti-market stuff and whatnot. But let's look at it this way, from my perspective. The way I'm seeing it is, if ISPs can throttle access to one site that is competing with them, what stops them from throttling access to another site that just doesn't, that they don't agree with? Like,
unless they've told the customers about it in advance, the Federal Trade Commission will do that. That's its job. We let the FTC do its freaking job, which it can't do right now because Title II.
Unfortunately, it seems that there's also been a series of net neutrality quasi-rules that regulated the ways ISPs could behave, although not really. The issue here is that Ajit Pai is not only planning on removing that, but he's also planning on removing these rules, which allow ISPs... Which
he actually can't do.
I'll be right back, guys.
Carry on. He won't be able to do that. First off, Ajit Pai, while he is an ass, I will give you that, is not completely stupid. He knows better than this shit. Okay? It's bad enough that the last commissioner, that the last chairman of the FCC gave Mr. Obama way more power than he was entitled to. And that was a political move.
I've been doing research into this, though, and it seems that Ajit Pai is not only planning on going through with gutting net neutrality, it also seems like he's going through and gutting actually really destroying the provisions that one of the old net neutrality rulings ended up providing, such as a rule that said that the ISPs are not allowed to block, throttle, or prioritize. He's basically saying
there was never such a rule. There was never such a rule. The FTC was the one that that insisted the ISPs be transparent, and the very few attempts that have been made in that direction were not done with transparency in mind. They tried to do it by means of back channel, and the FTC found out, and then they were stopped cold. In this case, the ISPs must, under any circumstance, they must be completely transparent before they do the thing. And if they do the thing without having told their customers about it well in advance, the FTC comes down on them like a ton of bricks. The most recent thing that has happened was just earlier this year. Netflix actually paid Comcast to stop throttling their shit. And that was possible only under Title II, because the FTC is no longer watching. Netflix by the by paid. They paid up.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not too familiar with net neutrality. I've kind of read a little on it, but I just kind of got.
It behooves everyone to learn as much as they can about the subject.
Yeah, I just recently started seeing the things. I've just kind of recently started reading up. I just hadn't had time because of final projects and everything that I have for school right now. But from what I was able to read, it was kind of how Tornado was saying was, well, they basically, if they throttled this but let this through, what's to stop them from throttling, your bandwidth and access versus where, like if they want to throttle you down so you don't even have access unless you pay X amount of a month. And yeah, that's kind of what I was able to, and I could be wrong on that too. So
yeah, that's the thing they already do. You have to pay your ISP to get internet access, don't you?
Yeah.
Has anybody noticed that their bills have gone up lately? I know my dad was pissed off because they dropped an extra $80 on him for internet for internet. They dropped Comcast dropped an extra $80 on him. He's like, "What the fuck? No, I don't think so."
Yeah.
And that turned out that was just recently. They dropped another $80 on him.
Yeah.
And he was 9 kinds of pissed off about it.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I could. Well, you can imagine why he'd be pissed off.
Yeah, I can too. And it's just.
As I was saying, the issue here becomes when an ISP starts breaking up the internet into tiered packages. You know how currently you have cable TV where you get this amount of channels for X amount of money, then you have the next amount of channels for that amount of money. Basically, that's what ISPs are currently wanting to do with the internet.
That is a I don't know who told you that, but that is a scurrilous lie.
Yeah, that
is an outright lie.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was seeing as well, was that, and that's why I was like, what the, like,
I don't know who told you that, but Tornado, Obi-Wan lied to you. That's the short version. The chances of them actually being able to do that to such a degree is pretty much none. You can't. There's almost no way to do that, and even if you could do something like that, you wouldn't want to,
because it would piss.
Because actually,
customers.
Even what?
Because it would piss the hell out of their customers, right?
Well, that'd be a start, yeah. But there's also the backside of that particular deal. You can use a generalized URL to ask them to ask for a website, and you get it depending on whatever the hell this is. Okay. However, unless they want to, if to do something like that, they have to screw with the DNS, which would do big time damage to the internet as a whole, the DNS lookup tables, and it wouldn't stop anybody with a brain in their head, because it doesn't matter what you're looking for. If you have the IP address of whatever the hell it is, you can get there whether they want you to go there or not.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, yeah, because because if you do
like that is impossible.
Yeah, because if you have access to
it's a slippery slope balance. That is a slippery slope fallacy in the extreme. Yes, thank you, Fino.
Yeah, I was like,
Right, go ahead.
when you were talking about, I was trying to remember back to when I started in the IT program, and all the other stuff. I'm like, oh man, my brain. I was like trying to remember all that.
Well, to be perfectly honest, there's the potential for foul play regardless of what goes on. And Comcast can use their own DNS servers. You can change that. You can change what the DNS server you're using. You can do all sorts of weird shit, and you don't even need a DNS server if you keep a log of IP addresses. You don't need a DNS. You don't even need DNS.
Yeah.
However, it seems that effectively internet providers have become a monopoly as of late. You have...
Well, no, they're an oligopoly. Big difference, because there are several firms at the top that have control of the market. What they need to do is kill this whole idea of franchising based on geographic area.
Vino actually says,
and yes, convenient is absolutely 120% correct. You can actually. Yeah. It takes nothing to set up a DNS server. I can do it here in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've done it before, long time ago, but I've done it.
I've done it. Hell, I set up a DNS server last week.
Yep.
I set one. No, actually, it was 2 weeks. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I set one up for Dad because he was getting pissed off at not being able to get to certain websites because CenturyLink was being shitty. And I set it up for him, and he could suddenly get to all of his shit.
Yeah, I had to do that for school, and that was always fun when I was in the networking program. But I ended up dropping out of that and going to the drafting that I did.
If it's doing better for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because the reason I left the networking program is the grading scale in there was absolutely insane. It was literally, if you got below an 82 or like an 80, 82, you had a D and you failed.
Yeah.
It was. So I went into the drafting.
Because it's very exacting. I don't know what happened to Sai, but he should be in on this particular conversation. As far as how many users are competent enough to install something like that, it's not that difficult, and B, it should really be part of baseline internet education anyway.
Yeah, with me, my biggest issue was not the book smarts. I could pass the book smarts. It was some of the hands-on stuff, the technical aspect of it.
Yes, the lab fun. It's the lab fun.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I could sit down and I could tell you why we do it, what it's used for, and how it works. But when you set me in front of that router or server to punch in the commands, I was like deer in the headlights, like da 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 da. So I switched over to
there.
Yeah, I switched over to I went to the drafting program at the school, and well, here I am. Basically, all I got to do is get through these 2 final projects I have, and I have a certificate of drafting. So it was a good move for me in that aspect.
And nobody's knocking it. Let's see, Fino, as far as my old aunt, no, she couldn't do that. She calls me to do for that shit. That's what I'm for, you see. But anybody younger than I am should know full well how to do this shit. And even the folks that are older than I am might actually it can be educated in how to do this in 20 minutes. It's not hard. It's just little nitpicky shit.
Just wondering, were you using Linux or Windows, or what were you using for your server?
I've used both, honestly.
Oh, I just the one you set up for your dad. What was it? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, it was a Windows side server on the machine in question.
Squirrel.
Okay.
I'm actually looking at the live chat now, and it says, and Fido has actually said, I do not mean it as the fallacy, but as the real deal.
Yeah, I know what he's talking. I saw it.
It's not the slippery slope fallacy. It's the real slippery slope, as in, oh, we can do this. What else can we do with it?
Well, you can imagine what some of the things are that you wouldn't be able to do. For example, the FTC would probably crunch the shit out of any attempt to give you could give you if you put together a package of 12 websites and that was the only thing you could access, the FTC would be up their ass in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whether you told them it was going to happen or not.
And why do you say that, Crocker?
Because that's completely anti-competitive. Completely anti-competitive.
Yeah, that would definitely get the trade and the trade commission down on you, and it would just that's because that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to stop those things.
If you restricted everybody's access to Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and I don't know, Fox News,
maybe YouTube.
No, probably not YouTube. YouTube would probably cost money. Would probably cost extra if you want a YouTube license. YouTube, that would be 2 tiers up. But if you restricted a significant portion of the population, or even just one person, to websites X, Y, and Z, and didn't provide any competitors at all, the scream would be heard in Andromeda tomorrow.
That scream would be heard in Andromeda tomorrow.
And the ISP in question would immediately wind up in hot water.
Yeah, I just read. I don't know if you saw a Darce comment said it's Orphan Red goes offline. It may be worth it.
What goes offline?
Orphan Red.
Orphan Red. I just saw that. Like, that's funny.
Now that was kind of funny. I do agree that was funny. But yeah, it's kind of a thing.
There is one small problem with Orphan Red going offline. We won't get to see her globes.
I guess there's bad sides and maybe one good side to losing net neutrality. Just the one. On the bad side.
See, here's the problem. Here's the thing. We're not actually going to lose net neutrality. It's just going to be different. And really, it won't even be different in a way that most people will notice. It will be different insofar as it would go back to the way it was 2010. And nobody mentioned about net neutrality then because nobody was in a position to give a shit. Yes, the ISPs could do those things. They won't because they don't want the lawsuit. Because those FTC lawsuits get very expensive very quickly.
Bear in mind that Pi is or was a top lawyer for Verizon.
I'm aware of that. And I'm aware that he likes to play, and I'm aware that in some cases he likes to play the corporate shell. This particular week, he's been wanting to kill the Title II regulation, and we did actually get some information as to why they want that shit gone. And it wasn't to make the ISPs happy, although they will be mildly amused. But that carrot comes with a really massive stick in the form of the FTC. The FCC has too much power. Think about it for a second, folks. If the FCC retains complete jurisdiction over the internet and wants to stop some silly person from Kazakhstan or some silly person getting put in a commissioner's role, or even three silly people that are absolutely certain that the idea of whiteness needs to go bye-bye. All of a sudden, anything that might even consider being part of that might even consider involving a white person just goes away. And it can be done under the current rules. It could be done. That's an extreme example, but it is something that could happen.
Yeah, and another thing.
Do you want to live in that land? I don't.
But I also don't want to live in a land where the access to the internet is tiered like cable TV is. I mean, honestly,
it won't be. There's no way they get that. They pull that off, even if they tried. And I guarantee you, the FTC would be down on their heads in seconds. The second it was reported to the FTC that somebody did something like that, it would be over. The lawsuits would be filed within 72 hours, and somebody's head would be on a pike. Assuming it doesn't happen in the opposite direction. Because the FTC didn't truck that the last time somebody wanted to try it. And I doubt it's changed over there. I doubt it's changed very much over there. The FTC is also not nearly as bound up in the politics that happen in Washington. Yeah, once you get people that are in conscious the FTC, they're there until they retire or they get killed or fired. And generally it takes a jackhammer to get somebody out of a position like that once they're in it.
Yeah. Supposedly Ajit Pai is basically saying, here, it's your job to police the internet, FTC. And basically the FTC can't protect consumers because of the FCC being the stronger body. And then the FTC itself is saying that the FCC is setting it up to fail.
The FTC is an enforcement arm. It cannot make policy. The FCC sets policy, but it can't. But it has very little ability to enforce anything. The two are intended to go together.
They can't maintain competition that does not exist at this point.
Well, see, here's the thing. Under Title I, they were actually doing quite nicely with the whole competition thing. Under Title II, you removed a lot of the roadblocks for the ISPs to abuse the shit out of people.
Yeah, either way.
But this is a conversation you and I have already had, Tornado.
Either way, the fact of the matter is, despite our best efforts, Comcast and Charter and other things like that have basically marked out each other's turf like drug cartels.
Well, they did that 30 years ago.
And that's why
30 years ago they did that.
That's why here in Crystal River there's really only two choices. We have Charter Spectrum, which, bear in mind, used to be part of Time Warner Cable, also known as one of the most hated companies in America, and then there's CenturyLink, which is here where I'm at, we have CenturyLink and we have Comcast, neither of which will serve my address. I'm on a freaking Sprint modem. Thankfully,
okay?
CenturyLink will serve my address, but Mom doesn't want to do that because, well, you see, she says CenturyLink is more expensive and the service is suckier. But honestly, I would rather have suckier service and more expensive prices than a cable company who doesn't serve my interests. Well,
to be perfectly honest with you, your mother's actually making a cost-benefit analysis, and I'm inclined to trust her. I'm inclined to trust her judgment at this point. And by the way, Fino, it's not a question of trust; it's a question of I know these people, I know how they operate, and I know what kind of retardation they might and might not get away with. Okay, if they put together the bill to define net neutrality and set up and turn net neutrality into fucking law, which is what they're trying to do now, and then somebody files an anti-competition lawsuit over franchising rights, the whole conversation would just go the fuck away. It would go away.
As far as my idea goes, I actually have a different way. It would actually be preserving net neutrality not just as federal law, but as an amendment of the Constitution.
That's going to be harder to do. That's very difficult. The last time anybody tried it was the Equal Rights Amendment, and it went down in flames. Flames.
I know it's hard to. I know it's harder to do that.
How about we let Cy have a crack at this for a minute? He's been holding his tongue for probably about 20 minutes now. I think it might be time to let him chill. Let him talk.
Well, actually, you guys were discussing the points quite well there. I'm curious it seems the conversation so far has just been from Tornado, blocking of sites and all that sort of thing. And it sounds like we're talking more about ISPs providing service to homes. I'm more curious how any changes are going to affect the mobile market, because that's really where there is actually still the possibility for competition from anybody, even the cut rate ones that lease traffic on the big players' lines.
That was.
I'm curious what's going to happen in that area.
Well, to be perfectly honest, we wouldn't see much of a difference on the mobile level. We wouldn't see much of a difference at all. To be completely honest with you,
pretty much what I was thinking.
Go ahead.
Mobile
is determined differently. They have a different set of rules for mobile, and mobile is still an information service as opposed to a utility. Okay, so really, what they're going to do is they're going to move things back. They're going to move shit back. The only thing they would have to change to equate mobile with home would be for the franchising thing to go bye-bye.
Indeed. I'm thinking the mobile market might be more immune to this sort of thing anyway, because at least on the consumer side, there's still the possibility for competition, which is lacking in the ISPs have diced up the country.
That's because the major ISPs have franchises for different geographic regions. If you're in a Comcast zone, Time Warner Cable cannot serve you, and therefore they don't.
I call it Time Warmonger Cable, honestly.
It doesn't really matter at this point, because I'll tell you right now, here for me to get a proper internet service in here, there's exactly one thing that can happen. There's exactly one way to do that, and that would be for me to cough up $100,000 to Comcast and then start paying bills. Not to have a drop installed here on the property somewhere.
Oh, hey, Cap.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, my internet crapped out for a second, so.
See?
Conspiracy.
It's like
it's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
we're being throttled.
Tornado was
talking about this shit.
Tornado was talking, then all of a sudden it's just everybody went silent, and I'm like, what's going on here? And so I just restarted my router and everything. So hopefully all is good.
Your cable company, your phone company, that's two different types of internet. You're talking about cable internet and digital subscriber link, or DSL.
I have DSL.
Now, DSL, I will tell you right now, I have done the troubleshooting. I spent years as a phone support technician doing support for DSL, and I will tell you right now, it is such crap.
I mean,
horrifyingly bad crap, especially if you're dealing in Verizon.
I don't know who ours is through. It's through EagleCom, which is a little local podunk company, and I hate them. They go out at least once. They go out at least like twice a month. If it gets windy, and well, if you know anything on Kansas, they're known for wind. Your internet gets really crappy. Yeah. Tornado knows. And no Wizard of Oz jokes.
Well,
I get those enough.
Well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Your house literally got lifted off its foundation and taken off to a land unknown.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
All right. I should not have said anything. I should have said don't make the joke because I should have known you'd make them if I. I really gotta be careful what I say.
You walked right into that. Not only did you walk right into it, you did so intentionally.
I wasn't thinking about it, and I'm like, after I said, I'm like, I just slowballed that, didn't I? I just slowballed it, and they're gonna hit a home run.
Yep.
Fino also says tornado was talking and your browser lost its roof.
Yep. How am I? Actually, believe it or not.
Convenient. My lines at where I live are all above ground and run on the phone line. So
they bury that shit around here.
Yeah, so that's the issue with mine is they do that crap, and so whenever you get wind that's enough to blow the power lines, it's your internet ain't gonna work very well.
All right. Anyway, convenient. Yes, DSL is the service if you can keep it running. It's not terrible, but the reliability at any real distance from whatever central office you happen to be attached to can be will be crap if they can get away with it. It's not the ISP I was working for was in fact Verizon, and they weren't set up properly for that. Well, it's high-speed broadband over low-quality lines. That's kind of the problem. Low-quality lines trying to run high. And you don't. And never mind. We're moving on. Moving on from that.
Whatever happened to the power companies trying to make their foray into internet service provision? Remember internet over power lines that all us hams were nuts about because it was radiating and making the ham bands unusable. Whatever happened to that? I'm assuming it's dead everywhere.
Well, I know Tacoma Public Utilities was trying to do that for a while. They also tried running a cable service, and for reasons that should be clear to absolutely nobody, they wound up on the wrong side of Comcast.
I see.
Both for internet and for television. Comcast negotiated with the city for franchising rights, and that meant that Click had to start buying from Comcast, and Comcast priced them out.
Aha. Well, it was a horrendous idea anyway. I'm not that displeased. Anyway. All right, have we covered
I think we've exhausted net neutrality at this point.
All right.
Unless Tornado has any further objections. It's not a question of, like I told Fino a little while ago, it's not a question of whether or not I trust the ISPs. It's that I know the people that are going to be watchdogging if Ajit Pai gets his way. And I know some of those people. Personally. Also note that the local politicians don't dare backstab me.
Because
they don't dare.
And why is that, Squirrel? Oh, wait. Roar!
Roar. Exactly right. Roar.
Yeah.
Because the last time a politician crossed me, I made 2 videos, and the politician went bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't much talk on the net neutrality one. I just don't know enough to feel confident to talk on it. So I'll just sit back and let you guys hash it out.
I was feeding the dog. I didn't say much either.
Always look at your sources.
Yeah, I just like I said, I've just recently started looking into it when I saw everyone posting about it. I'm like,
there is
I kind of remember hearing about this and
shit out there.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of remember hearing about. We talked about it a little in INT, but I was like, I don't I don't remember enough of it to talk on it or know enough on it right now what they're all trying to do to say anything. So I'm like, this is one of the ones I'll keep my mouth shut.
All right, Sai, you've actually worked in IT. What's your take on this whole thing?
I don't know. The only thing I was really worried about was that it was going to venture into the. I wasn't worried about the throttling and free. I was more concerned about the what I mentioned earlier, just the anti-competition thing, which really the points you brought up are quite true. There are other safeguards for that to happen. There's no need for such things to reside in the hands of the FCC. I would guess.
Not by itself, at any rate.
Indeed.
I was horrified when I found out they were moving it to Title II. Like, okay, that gives the FCC everything. That's a bad thing. Who the fuck's idea was that? I didn't until recently find out that it was Obama's doing. He wanted this thing so he could push the FCC into doing all of these things, and he was pissed off when he was told that they had to go through the FTC too.
Guys, if you're looking at the public chat still, I thought it was just Darth brought up an interesting thing. We have RFC 1149 as a fallback.
IP over carrier pigeon.
I thought that there can be no such RFC. There is. It's IP over avian carriers. I had no idea about this.
I think I remember reading something that might not be the exact one, but there was something like that was an old school version that we had to read about. Man, I really did enjoy doing the IT stuff. I just, like I said, didn't have I had the book smarts, but I didn't have the technical skills for it. But hey, I'm in something that I love doing with what I do. So yeah,
that is good. Yes, I was not expecting that to be a real an RFC that was actually published.
No, it's actually real.
So
apparently it's real.
And do any of you remember?
I think it was actually originally a joke, but still.
Squirrel, you may remember this, or at least have heard of it. Do you recall a Bastard Operator from Hell?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I haven't read the BOFH in years.
Those were great.
I should do that again.
That was Bastard Operator from Hell. That was in the era of X-Tank.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta see now that you've reminded me of it. There he is, the Bastard Operator from Hell. Let's see if he's still up.
If it's maintained, I'm impressed. That I used to love, and there was another one. It was a graphic designer that was just a sarcastic bastard, which was just hilarious. People in his office where he was working would make requests, and he'd give them specifically. You know how I believe I've explained to you before that with me it's best to choose your words very, very carefully, because one of my favorite things to do is to take the extremes of what you said could mean. And that's what this guy did.
Oh, I don't know if he's still doing the Bastard Operator from Hell, but that's the guy's website there in the live chat.
I've always loved whenever you find the actual phone calls of IT, because you can find some doozies out there. There was someone who called on their cell phone for tech support, and they're like, and so they asked, is it plugged in? So that I'm like, okay, that should be not. He goes, I don't know. The power went out, and I can't see. It was a legitimate phone conversation, and I mean, I was like, I would love to have been love to just see the look on the phone support guy's face.
That was the one problem with being.
Can I interject just for a moment here?
Yeah.
I've taken that phone call. I've taken so many of those. Yeah, it says your internet. If your power is out, your internet is out.
Yeah.
Call back when your power comes back on. Yeah. Thank you and have a nice day.
This is the problem with being in IT support.
CX's power is out. Suggest callback when power is on.
You develop very early on in your career a blatant disrespect for your user base. That is and it's unavoidable. The nicest guy in the world.
Oh, hey, you guys want a really amusing story?
Okay.
I got one for you. I managed to kill a customer one day. I mean, literally killed the poor bastard.
Oh no!
Oh yeah! No. What had been going on is that Verizon had been dicking it around for months. They'd been billing him because that's the only thing that the terms of service actually agree that will happen every time.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been billing him for months. He couldn't get connected. He couldn't even get sync. And I'm like, what is going on? So I went and I caught this as a supervisor, as a tech support supervisor. And I went, okay, I got to call the guy back and say, okay, we're going to work on the problem. How about I go look at the problem first and track down his problem so that we can actually fix it, and then maybe call him back out with the good news. So I did exactly that. I spent a whole day on the phone talking to everybody and their freaking cousin at Verizon. I finally managed to track it down to one guy who had one object that he could put into place and it would be fixed. And he did, in fact, do that while I was there on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. By that time it was getting late, so I put off his call until the following morning. I called him first thing the next morning, and I said, "Sir, yeah, right." He just went batshit all over my ass, and I'm like, "Okay, I get this." I let him rant on for about 5 minutes. And I got, "Sir," and then he just kind of stopped talking. The guy had. And he picked up, and about a minute and a half later, I went, Sir, are you all right, sir? I said, my husband's unconscious on the floor. Can you call back tomorrow? Okay then. Hope he's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And I called back the following morning only to get an answering machine message that said, please leave a message. We'll get back to you in a few days. We've had a death in the family. Fuck. I killed the bastard.
That's hard.
I finally got hold of her like a week later and confirmed exactly what I'd already suspected. The man had a massive myocardial infarction right there with me on the phone.
Wow. You've actually the worst thing in my IT career, the worst thing we ever did was sent out 20-inch monitors, and I had put a sheet of paper on the front of each one that said glass must face user. I thought that was the worst.
Honestly, I wasn't even really. I was only peripherally involved. I was just the guy with the good news. But damn, you know what? That guy had been bothering everybody for months at that particular call center. And I walked out. I went on a break and I walked out in kind of a slump. And they're like, dude, what happened? You know that guy with the thing, with the problem that Verizon's been jerking? Yeah, what happened? What's up? He died. Dude, you rock!
Oh, no.
Hey, by the way,
I was a hero. Until I left that company, I was a fucking hero. Like, no, I don't want to be a hero for this.
No, that's not the kind of thing you want to be a hero for.
I have actually said something funny.
Okay. What do you got, Tornado?
I had one lady who complained that her internet was slow. It turned out that they had the router plugged into itself.
Yeah, have you guys? I might post it in the public chat if I can. But what was there's a guy out there called Wes Borg, and he has a stand-up comedy bit of an IT help desk. I was like, it's funny.
Well, if you want help desk comedy, go look at Neurotically Yours.
Okay, I'll have to look them. IT Crowd is pretty funny, but it's like basically he it's very much, it's where I got a term that I've dubbed my mom especially this, but he has what's called it's called a 12 o'clock flasher, and we all know people whose appliances all just flash 12.
Yeah,
that's we all know someone like that, and so I've dubbed my mom, that, and she don't like that term. I'm like, it's true though.
Yeah,
but it's funny.
It is. All right. So, you will note that I had placed a critter in our back chat. Just to give you a thing. This would make really good presents for all of your IT buddies.
Interesting. Let us see what the thing is. I like things.
So now it's on page.
Space, nobody can hear your files scream.
Works for the public chat. Oh, it's not.
What's the matter?
Yes, it's Pepcat. Problem exists with keyboard and chair for those.
Yes, I told my mom that, and I told my mom that she had an ID10T error once. And then she had to go and ask someone who does IT stuff to find out what it meant. Because whenever she had something, I would have to go in and clear like cache and all the other stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to tell her to do it because she's going to have screwed something up. I told her it's an ID10T error. It's an internal problem. I'll take care of it.
It's an ID10T error.
And yeah, I was calling her an idiot. And then she asked someone, because she was having the same issue at where she was teaching at the time, and she called up one of the IT and says, "I think I have an ID10T error," and he didn't believe she actually said that. And she goes, "You're saying you're an idiot?" And oh boy, did I hear it the next day.
Oh well, yeah, you did. I would have given it to you too.
I was like,
I would have given you shit for fucking ever.
But that's it. Didn't let me post it on my end for whatever reason. I couldn't post it, but that's the link to the Westport guy who does the internet help desk. And I love there's a joke in there. I don't agree with one of the jokes in there because I love PCs more than Mac, but he goes, it's like, yes, sir, do you have a like a 5? Do you have like a 5 or a 10-year-old in the house? Good. Can you put her on? Tells her how to fix it. And he goes, next time this happens, tell your mommy and daddy to get an iMac or something like that. He goes, it's a computer especially for mommies and daddies. I'm not a Mac person. I'm more of a PC, but yeah, I was like, that's funny.
I don't deal in Mac. I pointedly don't deal in Macintosh.
Yeah, so if someone wants to.
Don't you mean Macintosh?
No, I mean Macintosh.
Yeah, I don't like Mac either.
Too busy. Everybody at this point is way too busy with their iPods and their iPhones. Really.
Did you just say iPhones?
Yes, I did. Because if you're using one, you've been pwned.
Yeah, I have. What was the thing though with the iPhone, the newest one that was released, and announced all the features? It goes, yeah, iPhone users, if you have an issue, find an Android friend.
Wow. Yeah, convenient.
They've had it for years. I'm like, that's horrible.
Wow, convenient. That was actually fun. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, but
the county program has stopped working to an illegal operation. Rawr!
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah. I've had to I've had to work that one out with my mom and tell her, no, your computer is just trying to do something. You're trying to have your computer do something it can't do. That's all it's saying. Nothing more. You're fine. But yeah, it's actually. But yeah, I IT help people because they deal with so many idiots. The moment I get them on the line, I go, I've done this, and this. Here's where the problem lies. What can you do to fix it? Yeah. Just because that way I don't get the whole, well, have you tried unplugging your router? Have you tried doing this? I'm like, I've done all that. I wouldn't be calling you if I didn't.
I piss off scripted help desk every time with that shit. Like,
yeah.
Okay, dude.
Because then they try to ask you, I go, I've already answered that. I actually finally, I just got so mad. I just finally said, give me a direct line to your techs. Give me a line directly to the tech people. I want it.
Well,
I said, so I don't have to deal with this. And I finally got one after about 5 times. So I have a direct line directly to their techs.
Well, there was one instance where I actually had a DSL problem. I knew exactly where it was, and I told them. I called them and told the tech to get his tier 3 on the line and give me a line to the MCO. and he went, "What? How do you know about that? I used to do your job. Give me the guy I want, and I'll go away." I'll be damned if I get the guy I wanted.
Yeah, and
Darth Wedgius. Yes, my mom has had to deal with that kind of issue before. Mom has had that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Darth Wedgius. I get that shit call here about twice a week.
They're fun to screw with.
Oh yeah. No, I
finally.
You have no idea. I did in fact screw with the last guy. Yeah, no, you should be in, dude. I already installed your piece of software. Well, why? Maybe you just don't know what the hell you're doing. Oh wait, that's because I didn't install it on a computer we don't actually have.
Yeah, I got like with telemarketers and that stuff. I got tired of getting calls from one time, and I like to do voices and have fun with people. And I don't know how I kept a straight face when I did this one, but I do a decent Indian accent. So I got tired of them calling me, and so I'm like, I'm gonna have fun with these people. And I had some friends who were sitting around me, and I told them that they're like, oh, this is going to be good. Because when I screw with people, I like to screw with them. I answer the phone. Don't know how I kept a straight face. I legitimately do not. And this is how I answered the phone. I went, hello. Thank you for calling Big Mac Sex Supplies, where we always believe in sending out good vibrations. How can I direct your call? And I don't know. I still to this day don't know how I kept a straight face while doing that.
Could you say that without the accent, please?
Yeah. I said, welcome, thank you for calling Big Mac Sex Supplies, where we always believe in sending out good vibrations. How can I direct your call? Yeah, was not. Yeah, my last name's McCormick, so, and I was one of the biggest guys when I played football in middle school, so I earned the name Big Mac. So from that, just kind of stuck. I was an offensive and defensive lineman. In middle school, I was 5'10 and a half, 5'11", 145. And the average middle schooler where I was at was the average lineman was about 5'8", 85, 90. I almost doubled their weight and I was one of the, although I wasn't the biggest guy, I was the smallest of the big guys. We had a guy 6'2", 220. Me and the 5 other big guys are starting offensive line, except for the 6'2" guy. He was actually our running back because he could run a 4.7 40. Yeah, I can't imagine why we were undefeated that year. In middle school. Yeah, I can't for the life of me figure out. Me and the 5 other guys had to submit our birth certificates to the league to allow us to play. Yeah. Because they thought we were too big. We had to get football pants from the high school because the knee pads went up about mid-thigh. We're like, that's supposed to protect our knees? I don't think so. So yeah,
that's not going to be quite good enough here, folks. We need to do a little bit more.
Yeah. Hey, back to the.
Sorry.
Back to.
So, Cap, when I ask if you got the name Big Mac because you were basically like the pony, could you say what Big Mac normally says?
Yep.
All right. Back to the.
That's okay. One more here. One more story. The last time I got one of those. Well, your computer has a problem. We need to. and I am from tech support. I'm calling you to fix out the virus problem that you are sending. The last guy that called that, I got into where I recognized the number, and I picked up the phone and said, Pugly's mortuary. You stab him, we slap him. He hung up. He couldn't hang that phone up fast enough.
I got one more story real quick. It's a friend of mine. He's fluent in 5 languages. He got tired of those guys. He started speaking English. Then he started speaking he spoke Spanish, Russian, English, Arabic, and Japanese.
So he could swear at this guy in 5 different languages.
And he kept switching, so they had to go keep running to get different guys to talk to him. And it was funny. He had him on the line for like 30 minutes, and they got tired and hung up.
All right. How long ago was there talk of the scripted help desk? What was that, about 15 minutes ago?
Something like that.
Minutes, something like that.
That's how long I've been waiting to respond.
Sorry.
Anyway, now that may be annoying for Jesus, any of us. But I will say from the service provider standpoint, up to, and this may seem like an exorbitant number, but it's not. In the high 90% of the problems go away with said annoying script, and that's how IT organizations are able to provide service for large numbers of people at a relatively small cost, is because most of the problems are customers talking to someone who's not an IT person. They're a script reader. If we didn't have that, companies would be paying, $300 an hour to talk on a phone. If everybody had to get somebody that knew stuff. Most of the people when people call for support, the first level support in a lot of cases is they got to follow the script. And if Weary Not Warren mentioned this, that if they don't follow the script, it can affect their pay and their continued employability. Yeah, that's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because when they
get
vary off, if things are not cookie cutter, they're not cost effective for everybody, and the service actually declines. So as annoying as it is, it saves everybody money.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I just got tired of it. Because I was still in the IT program when I did that, and I just basically demanded a number to the text so I'd have to go through it every time. Because I was like, I know what the issue is. I know where it lies. It's on your end here. I need it fixed.
Did you ever call for support on any, let's say, lack of internet connectivity for a business? Did you ever call a provider and have to actually tell them how to correct the issue?
I've done that. I told the script reader once, and after that, I was so frustrated. I said, "Here's your freaking issue. Go in here, do this, now fix it. This is a first semester problem."
This happened. We were,
I was just furious because it had been going on and off for like 3 days, and I knew what the issue was. And I said, "Fine, give me a line directly to your text right now, or I will walk down there, and you're like 40 miles away from me, and I will fix it myself." And I got a line to text right then and there.
Here's another fun one for you. Anybody here that tech support ever gotten the guy that reportedly has 3 PhDs, so he knows everything and you know nothing?
Oh God!
We did.
Hop. My email client is not handshaking with your server. You need to fix it. Like, have you checked the settings? I don't need to check the settings. It's a handshake problem. Fix it. Like, okay, I need to know what the hell you're talking about first. Let's look at the settings real quick. I don't want to look at the settings. Fix that. I can't fix it until I know what the problem is, until I can eliminate one end and the other. Guess which one I'm going to look for first. You're like, fine, I'll look at the settings. Turns out his shit wasn't even set up.
Oh God.
And it took me almost an hour to convince him that we weren't going to get anywhere until he actually looked at the damn settings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And then I had to explain to him what SMTP was.
Yeah, with my mom, I
3 PhDs. Yeah, right, got it.
Finally, my mom finally. I know I use her a lot, but she's the one I have the most like quote unquote IT help with. But she recently, a couple years ago, actually, I finally got her to start writing down what's the error code. Because I would always ask her, she's like, I don't know. I go, what were you doing? I was trying to, all right, what did you do? I don't know. I told her, if you ever get an error code pop up, whatever, write it down. Tell me what it is. It makes it so much easier.
Indeed.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, I got to say, it's like nearly 5 here. What do you think? Do we have any other major issues to cover, or do you think we ought to wrap it up? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's your call.
All right. Well, let's put it to the public. Any issues you'd like to see what remains of our esteemed panel discuss, or have we had enough fun for one night?
Come on, guys, ask your questions now, because we're gonna run away if you don't.
Indeed.
Ask your questions now.
I like convenience comment. Have you checked for spyware? I'm on Linux. Yes, but you know you.
But do you know you don't have spyware? No. Yes, I'm on Linux. I'm sorry, sir. We don't support Linux. Yeah. That's the downside of open software.
All of Linux.
A lot of people don't like supporting it. That's why everybody wants to go with Winblows or Mac and Slap.
All of Linux is malicious. That's what makes it fun.
I hated
Windows.
My Linux class. We had to do a Linux class for our server, one of the server classes I was in, and I hated it because delete something, and I deleted too much of the path, and it asked me 3 times, am I sure I want to delete that far? I ended up deleting like half the kernel or so. I did something really bad, and I'm like,
bad plan. If it asks you more than once, you might want to consider it. Yeah. You might want to consider that it might be onto something.
Yeah, I was a bad IT person. I was in school at the time, so it wasn't anything serious. It was my own server, but still, it was. Oh boy, when that happened, I literally. I realized what I did.
You shit a brick. If you're just like me, dude, you shit bricks.
Good night, Fino. Anyway,
later, Fino.
I turned bright red from embarrassment.
Yeah. Any Oracle guys? You ever accidentally trunk a table? Whoa, jeez, now what are we doing?
I've had to try and work those. No, if you trunk a table on Oracle, you might as well kiss your ass goodbye. Especially if you're being that job. Holy shit! No, Oracle does not do that well.
Well, it's funny. See, the problem with Linux is I've always it's a simplification, but I've always classed different type of computers into 3 grouping classes. There's let's look at AS400 and above. The machine is God, and you as an operator can do what it will let you do,
and no more.
Right. Unix, all flavors, assume that you are God, and the machine is, in fact, your servant, and you can really screw things up. See, Windows, I always thought was a middle ground. It sort of protected itself, and you really couldn't get into trouble. And Linux came out and said, okay, cool, look, it's pretty safe. Nobody can screw with it. Monolithic kernel. Nobody can wedge stuff in.
Yeah.
Then what do they come out with? Loadable kernel modules. God damn it. Great.
I have to laugh at something. That wasn't the worst thing what I did. That was not the worst thing while I was in the networking program. Okay. Since all of our computers are networked together and work together, someone
did not do that. You didn't do that.
It wasn't me. This one was not me. This was not me, thankfully. This was someone else. I won't go into names.
Okay.
Just for their own sanity. And if they are listening, I doubt it. But if they are, they'll know who they are. They'll probably turn bright red when I say it. They erased half of the servers that we had because each student had their own server of DNS, web, all that fun, all those goodies we had to set up. And it was our Linux semester. And since they're all networked together, they sent out a command. And luckily, mine did not get erased because I only know this happened because it happened right after I got mine back up and running. And then that happened to other people, and I was like, "Oh, I was lucky." And needless to say, there were a lot of angry students there.
I would think.
I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that was the worst I saw because it wasn't just their computer; it was others because they were trying to do something on there and screwed everything up. And it's
Well, the thing I do like about Linux, even though Linux has gotten I thought it was going to be getting a little more mainstream than it is now because the installs are a hell of a lot easier than they used to be. Everything is GUI now. But what I like about it is everything is still text files behind the GUI, and you can get to them. All right, most things are, which is just amazingly helpful when you want to know why is this machine acting in the way it is acting. You can read, and most of it is commented just beautifully. That's
yeah.
You
can go back and you can look at it and go, hey, wait. Why is it doing that? What the hell is it up to? Oh, there it is. I found it.
Yeah.
This guy, whoever it was that put this in here was a complete dumbass. We can now go and tweak it. Although to be honest with you, I would probably contact somebody like Science before I did that because I don't code worth a shit.
Yeah.
There are some things if you have a hardware problem, I will wring its neck. If you have an operating system problem, I'll at least give it the hairy eyeball and tell you where to go to get it fixed. If you have an actual problem debugging code, find somebody else.
Yeah, that's not me either.
If it was something small and stupid, I could, but I find it increasingly unlikely.
Yeah,
I really do need to learn to code again.
I mean, man, like I said, I do kind of miss the IT stuff because you would always. It was fun. Is that when you had the when someone did something stupid, you never forgot it. You always remembered which student did what dumb thing. Like I can sit here and envision the computers just. I can still see him, and I know his name, and like I said, I'm not gonna say it. Just I'll give his examples. I'll give his initials, JB. That's all I'm gonna say. But
okay. So here's the thing. And some of you will know this. Si, you are forbidden to answer.
Okay.
As are you, Cap. Okay. Tornado might be. I'll let Tornado try, and the live chat is more than welcome to throw down.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, Squirrel.
The question didn't come yet.
We're working on the question. We're getting towards the question. Now, here is the question. Okay. For some of you who don't know, and here too, BASIC became an acronym many moons ago. Does anybody know what it stands for?
What was the acronym? Just so I could hear it. What was it?
BASIC. Basic.
Oh.
Okay. We can't answer.
You had better know this. I know Cy does.
We can't answer.
I vaguely remember it.
I've never even heard of that before.
Basic programming language? Come on.
No, I've literally never heard
of it. Basic stand for in this case.
Let's see. I don't see anything in the chat.
Let's see if anybody in the crowd gets it first.
Yeah,
If not,
I think I remember it.
If not,
I think I remember it. If they don't, I'll take a shot on what I think it is.
All right. Well, Squirrel. When it comes time, let's let Captain give it a shot. Oh, here we go. All right, we have a look at that. Darth.
Oh, I was close.
Darth has got it. Oh, wait. Was I supposed to say that, Squirrel? Did I blow something?
No, he got it.
Huh?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
It was actually designed for idiots to be able to do very simple applications on computers.
Indeed.
Yeah, I was close. I would have been wrong. I was going to say information code, not instruction. So, yeah, I would have been wrong.
Look, convenient
is mindful of the lag there, if you know.
Convenient is programming in BASIC now.
10 insert side, 10, 20 facepalm, 30 go to 10. Yeah, that would be it. You've been bragging rights, Darth. That's all we've got for you. It's just bragging rights. You got it, and other people were slower looking it up on Google.
Darth wants to know what he wins. I think you all know the answer to that, don't you?
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee more than bragging rights because it's up to you otherwise,
he should be a mitted one. Let me just add him to the list of mitted ones so that when the request comes in, I don't go, you're a mitt thief.
Yeah, I still have to laugh at like when I was in there, we were studying terms, and of course all the IT terms were done by nerds who needed to get laid and just hadn't. I mean, if you read some of them there, wow, you put that in a sentence, man, you can get really raunchy at times. And me and a couple other people from there, we were just seeing who could come up with the most suggestive sentence while still referring to IT. And we did not realize that behind us, the nursing students had come and eat lunch. And we were in the comments.
Oh,
I'll let you guys envision that conversation. Needless to say, there were a few remarks that one of the people actually, one of them went, "What did you say?" Because a couple involved references to scuzzy female connections, and yeah.
You can get in trouble with that.
Oh my!
Well, you have to understand. In your case, because you were part of the IT course, you could just tell them we're doing a vocabulary exercise for school.
Oh, and we were. It was like there were a few it was like
the worst thing I can say is do that some other way or someplace else.
We were eating lunch at the time, and we weren't allowed to eat in the IT area. Yeah, this boy, oh boy, man! Some of the sentences you can come up with are.
It's not the floppy disks you're worried about. It's the dongles. Remember that one.
Yes, the dongles.
Oh my!
primitive licensing.
Oh, dude, you just started something over here in the live chat. I'm serious. You started it.
Oh no!
Me?
You're going to eventually. Yes, you did.
Me? I would never do anything like that.
Yes, you did. Come on, Big Mac.
Okay, all right, I'll admit it. I was not intending to start that though. That was unintentional, but yeah, that happened so much.
I had more fun with my joystick.
Oh
my! All right. And on that note,
my.
Yeah, it's
we're gonna I think it's time to let chat run off the fingers and kind of wander away from the after show.
All right,
because I don't think we're gonna be able to top that. Not today.
All right, let us.
Did you just Bluetooth your dongle berries?
Oh, don't go there.
Goodbye, YouTube.
It would be best if your dongle was bigger than a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
IT viewer.
Hey, the thing is,
good night, everybody.
We can't help it if people want to put if they want to get their heads in the gutter. That's not our fault. We're talking IT terms.
That is
true. I love
the
Animaniacs.
Hey.
All right, we have reached 5 a.m. Let us.
Okay.
Let us call it.
For side, he probably must sleep sometime this week.
Indeed. See you.
I remember
And actually, there was never such a thing as a 7-inch floppy. It was an 8-inch floppy. Get it straight. Okay.
Indeed.
I think that's the joke we have to leave on. But yeah, just hey, I wouldn't mind doing this again with you after the show. This was fun. And
yes,
you can just have a lot more fun here.
I only ever had one voice.
The voices I've used so far today are kind of what, if you guys do, like I said, tune into my next video when I manage to convince myself to sit down and record it. It's kind of the jokes that you're going to get and the voices you get, and why I would love to do voice acting. That would be awesome. But yeah.
It's not the size that matters, it's the capacity.
Indeed. All right.
Yes,
you just gotta make sure.
We'll be going now.
You gotta make sure it fits in the slot, though. That's always key.
Oi! Enough.
Right. Anybody that didn't get your mitts, go to the website and put it in, and we'll make sure everything that see what I did there. Okay. On that note, thanks for hanging out for the after show, and I think I'm gonna go get a pizza. Okay. Night all. Thanks for coming.
Good night.
Bye.
Support net neutrality.
And not just that. Oh crap! Vote for Anthony Riley. That's all right. Had to say that. Good night, all.
Bye. Good night.